Hello? 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 Welcome. This is a show. This is I got hair in my mouth. Oh, still there. This is a show. This is called the Above It All Show. Everybody. I do this show. This is a show I do. I got it. Wait. Okay. It's the Above It All Show. Today, the day you're seeing this, it should be Black Friday, I suppose. I'm filming this on Wednesday. Normally I do this on Thursday. This is what happens when you have a dog. It just fucking ends up in your mouth. There's like 3 hairs that I had. I just took a nap. Anyway, and I sleep with my mouth open. So, I usually wake up. Anytime I wake up, I got, 5 million of these. But this is, I normally do this on Thursday, but I'm planning on doing drugs tomorrow. So I'm doing the show today, Wednesday, instead. And so there's some stories that I think are starting to happen today that theoretically might be something I would talk about on Friday if I were doing the show on Thursday, but I'm doing the show on Wednesday and uploading on Friday. So by Friday, when you're watching this, there might be some stuff that I maybe would have talked about if I wouldn't have done. Yeah. Anyway, honestly, I don't even know if I'm going to even cover stories. I mean, I have a couple things lined up, and now that I think about it, how much about Israel do I really need to keep saying? There was an actor that got fired for talking about the Holocaust in Gaza. So that's news. You're not allowed to be against the Holocaust anymore. If you say, the Holocaust? It's bad, actually. You get fired. Why? Well, because it's anti-Semitic to criticize genocide. If anyone kills anybody and you say, hey, that's bad, actually, it's anti-Semitic. So that's the thing that's going on. Rashida Tlaib, someone spent, or at least according to this thing, I haven't finished reading it, but someone was willing to spend $20 million on a primary challenge for Rashida Tlaib, so that's fun. Where's all that money come from? I don't know. Apparently there's this attempted temporary ceasefire going on. I'm just telling you everything I would have talked about on today's show. I'm just giving you the highlights here. There's a temporary ceasefire thing going on with Israel. And, I'm actually going to look at this real quick. I don't want to read this whole fucking thing, honestly. I really don't. But this is from the Associated Press, Qatar announced on Wednesday that Hamas will release 50 hostages in exchange for what Hamas said would be 150 Palestinian prisoners held by Israel. Now, isn't it weird? This one, right? This is weird, right? When Hamas does it, they're hostages. When Israel does the same fucking thing, they're prisoners. Isn't that strange? It's not like they're afraid of the word hostage, they're both in the same sentence. You know, like, this is what I was going to talk about. Also, it's like a 4-day pause, apparently, and it's a temporary ceasefire, which, what the fuck does that mean? I don't know. But anyway, it's a little weird, you know? When Israel commits a crime, they're prisoners. When Hamas does it, they're hostages, bro. Holy shit, human shields, man. A little strange. I mean, you know, I find that to be a little, I don't know, a little weird, a little out there. Not how I would use the English language, but, you know, what are you going to do? You know, but I don't feel like doing a typical show. You know, honestly, I really don't. I'm not a fan of the holiday time. I really don't. Like, this whole, like, especially now that we're in the 4th year of the pandemic, where we have, like, really, like, last year was, like, the test case. But, like, this year we've officially hit, like, you know, Twilight Zone. Like, we're insane. Like, this society is fucking insane. People are crazy, and I just don't want to be here anymore. Here being on this planet with like a bunch of crazy ass motherfuckers. And no, that's not me saying I'm suicidal. Like, the idea that I don't want to be surrounded by insane people could be perceived as suicidal. Oh my God. No, that's not the case. But like, I'm just sick of living on this planet. I'm sick of living with people that biologically share similar DNA to me, but act just fucking like, they act less intelligent than like a fucking lizard. You know, no, not to be offensive to lizards, right? And I know people get triggered, but you know what? This is the Black Friday show. And so by the time you're seeing this, Thanksgiving will have already happened. If you're most Americans, you've already made the mistake of deciding, you know what? I don't need to live to 70. I'm fine dying at 60. I gotta go get mama's mashed potatoes at Thanksgiving. Because that's what you're doing. When you are choosing to get COVID over and over and over again for the sake of these really fucking antiquated and stupid traditions. Like, I mean, seriously. Like, again, I've said this many times, you know, what would I, like, it's 10 years, right? There was a study that came out that said 10 years shorter lifespan, you know, which is based on biological aging markers. So basically what happens is you get COVID, any genetic diseases that you may have been predisposed to, they get accelerated, right? So like, if you're going to die of liver cancer at 73, you get COVID 5,000 times, you would die at 65, right? That's what this study. And people are willing to do this for mama's mashed potatoes. You know what I mean? Like, you know, like, what would I be willing to, like, what's worth 10 years of my lifespan? I don't know. I really don't. I thought about this for a long time. Like, it would need to be like some massive, like, career changing event of some kind where I was like guaranteed millions of dollars, right? Like, oh, you go here and then, like, you know, you get COVID and then something happens and you get $5 million at the end of it. Then maybe, or something, right? But even then, it's like, is $5 million really worth 10 years of my life? And motherfuckers are doing it for Thanksgiving? For Thanksgiving! Well, check out this headline here from the New York Times. Thanksgiving travel day is expected to be busiest in nearly 20 years. 20 years. 20 fucking years. All-time high, or at least 20-year high. Century. You know, the 21st century. This is pretty much what we got. During a pandemic. Like, I mean, I know. Most people, they just don't believe it anymore. They just literally do not believe in germs. And I am going to be honest with you. I can't get over it. I know. If you've been watching these shows, you know I can't get over it. You're well aware that I can't get over it. But I really fundamentally can't get over it. The fact that people in the year 2023 just decided that the germ theory of disease no longer exists. Like, you know, when I was younger, you know, one of my first, like, major interests, when it came to politics was science. You know, like, my gateway into politics initially was science, you know, like, for example, oh, we went to the moon in the 1960s, and yet we haven't been back since when? We haven't gone to Mars yet? They were like writing books in the 60s about how we could go to Mars before 2000. Still haven't done it? And then I realized, Ronald Reagan and subsequent presidents just defunded space exploration because they beat Russia. Yeah, God, we beat Russia. And then now we don't need to do it anymore. So that was like one of my, like when I was very young, kind of like, why is the world this way? Like just a weirdo kind of thing that just never really got me right. Right. And like, I just like, I really find I struggle to believe that we are regressing scientifically. Like, and again, I refuse to be a complacent participant, in that. Like, again, like 2023 is the first year in the history of the human species where the germ theory of disease was discovered and then sent back into like the dark ages. Now, theoretically, it's possible that there was a book on the germ theory of disease in the Library of Alexandria when it burned down, right? That's possible. We don't know, right? But we're entering a situation where after the discovery of germs, the world just ignores it for Thanksgiving. Like, and now again, I come from a fucked up family. Thanksgiving was always throwing shit at the wall. It was always like, getting psychological tug of war between two parents that hate each other. Like, so I don't have great memories of the holiday season. I'm one of those fucked up motherfuckers, right? But it's like, I've seen movies. I've seen cartoons. I've seen TV shows of like the happy Thanksgiving dinner experience. And it's like, if you were to tell me, and I know, I guess most people just, they're so dumb that they don't even understand that germs are real. Like, they just, like, they're not making the conscious decision, like, I'm going to sacrifice 10 years of my life for mama's mashed potatoes. They just don't know what germs are. They just never heard of germs. Germs? What's that? Soap? I don't know what soap is. Right, and I get it, but it's just like, no, I don't get it actually, because like, the whole thing relies upon ignoring the fact that we're in a pandemic, right? And everyone, to some degree, except for those like weird QAnon guys, that said the whole thing was fake from the jump, most people don't actually believe that the pandemic was fake from the jump, right? So it's like, you need to like somehow have like a process in your brain that says COVID magically disappeared and germs went away. And to me, I just can't get there. Maybe I'm just too autistic, but like, I just can't get there. Like when did germs go away? When did they stop? I don't know. And even then, take COVID out of this whole thing. The fact that people fly across the country to see their family on Thanksgiving is insane to me. It really is. The coldest month of the year, you're going to be flying around the country? Really? Why not do it in summer? Like, what is this, like, this obsession with tradition that humans have? But, like, not cool traditions. Like, traditions you develop yourself over the course of your lifetime. I'm a very traditional person, and I celebrate my traditions. Things that I do, things that I enjoy, things that I like experiencing, things that I like doing. Like, the idea that most humans are just so thoughtless that they're willing to do stupid shit just because, like, well, my grandpappy said it was good, and then my pappy said it was good, and then I say it was good, and then you're going to tell your kiddos that they said, that your pappy said it was good. Come on down to get mama's mashed potatoes. Like, I just don't get it. I don't fucking get it. I don't fucking get it. I don't get it. I don't fucking understand any of this fucking horse shit. I really don't. I really don't. Like, even if you like your family, why Thanksgiving? Like, why Thanksgiving? Like, why in the turkey? Don't even get me started on the fucking turkey. Turkey? Really? Really, turkey. Like, you just have to have this fucking meat. Like, as a kid, I never liked turkey. I say this as I'm a vegetarian now. I've been for many years. By the way, I'm still alive. Most people think if you're a vegetarian, you just drop dead in like a couple months. I'm still alive here, so I'm just throwing that out there. But I never liked turkey as a kid. I just like, whenever it was Thanksgiving, I would sit in the corner and I would eat like the mashed potatoes and the mac and cheese. And that was pretty much it. Like, and maybe that's just because, my skin color, look at this, white people honestly do not know how to make seasoned food whatsoever. So like turkey is just like dry, like disgusting meat that people slop into their mouths because it's tradition. What are you thankful for? I don't get it. Like, I really don't. I've never really been exposed to a healthy Thanksgiving outside of like television and stuff. Like, I just don't get it, man. Like, I just don't get it. I really don't. Like, you want to surround yourself with family members, eat a bunch of unhealthy, like, poor tasting food. For what fucking reason? For what reason? Like, I just don't get it. To, like, bond over something? Like, I just don't get it. And maybe, again, this is just a result of me being so detached from, like, I guess the regular script that most human beings follow. You're born into the world and you get told what to do. And, some certain amount of factors can result in you not following the script. And I just didn't follow the script. So, like, I just don't get it. I don't understand. I don't have that, like, natural, like, yearning for the better time, Thanksgiving thing, that nostalgia, holiday bullshit. I just don't get it. I just don't fucking get it. And again, like, Thanksgiving, like, I say this every year now, right? Like, we're in a pandemic here. And we're having the busiest Thanksgiving. Like, and then we're going to have Black Friday. So, like, people are going to literally go to Walmart without a mask on, getting a virus that shortens your lifespan by 10 years to get a fucking blender that's 10% off. Like, is this really what humans are about? Now, again, I struggle with this. I really do. I struggle with this. I know. I just... Every show at this point is the same, and I feel that whenever I talk about COVID, I go into the same loop. So I try not to dwell on it. But you know what? This one's a holiday, so now I am going to dwell on it. And, again, what else is there to say about Israel and Palestine? And there's nothing else interesting there was this fucking bullshit at this bridge that just happened. Not enough information for me to cover that yet, and I want to do my show on Wednesday, so... Fuck you, buddy. But like, what's going on with that? Who fucking knows? But also, who cares? Who cares? Like, I was planning on covering the Trump stuff, like the Trump court stuff. But honestly, every time I look into it, it's just like depressing. Like, this guy just does like the most flagrant violations of the law, and yet he's still here. Like, he's still fucking here, and it's just like. Part of it, like, of doing a news show that I wasn't aware of when I started doing this is that I feel like doing a news show, it makes you insane, like, in a way that I did not really appreciate at the time. Like, when I started doing this news show, I just wanted to, rep the Bernie campaign. I wanted to get my opinions out there on various things. And I feel like I've done most of that. Like, obviously the Bernie campaign's over. But, like, I feel like I've said what I think on almost every possible subject. Like, doing a news show, basically you're just a judge, right? You have the same job in society as a judge. You look at a fucking story, you see all the sides or whatever, and you decide which is right and which is wrong, except we have no power, obviously. Right? And it's like, I've already done all that. So, like, then the next one is like, oh, you learn by reading the news. But I don't think that anymore. Like, I really don't think there's anything to learn about reading into Trump's lawsuits. Like, yes, he's going to get away with it, or he's not. And we don't have anything else to know about it until then. And a year ago, I would have been like, oh, man, I would love to, like, do live streams of Trump in court. And it's just, I don't feel that yearning anymore. And, I like doing this show. It's just that not every time I do it, there's something that I'm really passionate about talking about. And that's this week. There's nothing really in the news that's striking me, other than the fact that, of course, everyone's going to like kill themselves for mashed potatoes. Like, that one is like really fucking with me. But other than that, like, what else is there? Like, the temporary ceasefire bullshit. Like, what the fuck is a temporary ceasefire? What is that? Like, I can get up here and talk about Joe Biden's poll numbers. Like, I can make a YouTube clip. Shock! Joe Biden loses to Trump in polls, and then have like a picture of like Joe Biden with his sunglasses on and the ice cream cone, and I could get like hundreds of views. For what? For doing what? Like, what am I saying? Oh, Joe Biden's got bad poll numbers. Yeah, like, we already know that. His poll numbers fucking suck. He's a shitty fucking president. He's garbage. What else is there to say? Like, I just feel like this whole ecosystem is just derivative, saying the same thing about the same thing. But nothing is actually meaningful. And that's why, again, I want to do COVID on this show, because if there's going to be any repetition in your media diet, this is the only spot where you're going to get the germ theory of disease stream. You know what I mean? Like, you go anywhere else, you turn on the television, germs aren't real, germs aren't real, germs aren't real. It's just Donald Trump conspiracy theories, but Joe Biden believes them. Self-described communists are like, Donald Trump on health and safety? I'm all in. So it's just like, I can't, and also, again, like, the entertainment value of like, oh, what stupid fuckers said something stupid today? Like, I've considered doing like a react content, similar to like, oh, let's react to Ben Shapiro. Whoa! But like with shows like Majority Report, where Sam Cedar pretends COVID disappeared, or Emma Vigeland pretends COVID is magic or something. But it's like, do I really feel like getting involved in this whatever shit show that would result in? No, not really. I really don't. I really don't have the fucking mental fortitude to deal with the fucking fanboys on that regard. So, and I can't watch these shows anymore, because every time I click on them, it's like, oh, whatever. So, no, I can't really watch any left-wing news show, but for a couple, because it's just like, the elephant in the room is too much for me. And then, like, whenever the elephant's brought up, it's magic and it doesn't exist, right? So, like, for me, it's like the psychic damage I receive from watching any left-wing news show on YouTube is gone, right? So it's like the entertainment value of left-wing politics is dead in the water. And the only reason I do the show is because I like talking. Like, that's it. Like, that's the last reason I have to do the show. And now, again, like, 2024 can roll around. The presidential election's coming up. That's something I want to participate in. Call me a little bit of a traditionalist, despite what I said earlier. But you know what? Presidential election season, I'm in on that. So, like, I'm going to be covering presidential election season. And what is that? Like, the primaries. Even though they're not real primaries, right? But whatever. I'll cover that. I'll talk about that. But, like, outside of that, really, what's the point in talking about any of this? Like, you all know what I'm going to say. I don't know. Maybe I'm just depressed. Maybe I'm just fucked up in the head. It's possible. I mean, it's likely at this point. Like, how could you survive in year 4 of a pandemic where most people just say, come in, the Kool-Aid's fine? Like, again, you're on the Jim Jones plantation or whatever. Everyone's handing around the Kool-Aid. You saw some motherfucker put, like, anthrax in that shit, right? And they're all just looking at you like, ooh, tastes real good. And then they hand you the cup. That's the position I'm in when I'm doing this new show, right? Every other new show in the space that I occupy, and maybe that's the problem. Maybe I just need to go to a different space that's, like, less left-wing. Because the left wing is fucking stupid. Maybe I'm just not a left winger anymore. If the left is just like celebrate mass disease apartheid, disability, and death, then I don't agree. So therefore, I guess I'm not a left winger. I don't know, whatever. That's just arguing semantics. But it's like, that's the position I feel in, that I feel like I'm in when I do these kinds of things. Is I'm in the Jim Jones fucking plantation. I saw the motherfucker put the poison in the bowl. And then everyone's like, wow, really? Like the Hillary Clinton DNC. Ooh. And then they hand you the cup. and then you're just expected to nod along. It's like, bitch, I saw you put cyanide in that shit. I'm not drinking that fucking Kool-Aid. And that's like, that is the entire media ecosystem, because it's all fucking capitalism that's fucking created this situation. Yeah, that's right. Where people feel the need, they got to make money on YouTube, right? Because everyone in this position cares about money. I don't give a shit about money, just so you know. Unsubscribe, turn your Patreon off, unmember me if you want. I mean, like, literally, like, I don't care. Obviously I would like it if you kept giving me money for doing the minimal effort possible. But you don't have to. Like, you literally do not have to, and it's totally optional. Though you should feel compelled to, but you really don't have to. Right? But most people in this space, they do it for a job now. Either that or they want to. And that is really the same mindset. If you want to do something like this as a job, and you do something like this as a job. Now, again, those are different positions, right? Honestly, I would say doing it for a job is even worse in a way, but, because I've been on every side of this equation. Right? And so how do you get famous? Well, you toe the line, right? And you participate in the algorithm chasing bullshit of, let's react to this person, let's react to that person, let's ignore germs, let's tell everyone happy Thanksgiving, let's pretend masks don't exist, let's pretend that, and I can't do that. I've done it before, and I just can't do it anymore. I really can't just, watch the 9 billionth fucking Candace Owens clip and react. Woo! Like, I just can't do it. I really just don't have that in me. And so, really, I'm just about the raw news and information. But, what news is there to read that actually has educational value? Science reports, right? I can do science reports. I do science reports on COVID. No one likes it. Everyone's like, I don't know what this means. Some people like it. I know the people that are watching these shows, they like that stuff nowadays. I should clarify that, but I don't know, man. This shit fucking, it really blows my mind just how dumb the time that we're living in is. And, I like talking about it. I like talking about how stupid people are. I've always loved making fun of stupid people. And the realization that it's actually just 95% to 99% of people on Earth are just dumber than me. Now I know. Reddit moment. But it's it really, the idea, I literally cannot get over going on an airplane without a mask on during a pandemic to visit relatives, to have one shitty holiday dinner and then fly back a couple days later or a day later. I never got it. And that's all anyone talks about it this season, right? It's just Thanksgiving, man. Thanksgiving, bro. Whoa, yeah. I just can't do it. That shit is just so fucking stupid to me. I just can't, I can't wrap my mind around. I'm sorry. I just can't. And then, there's a part of it's a little derealization thing of is any of this shit even real? It's so absurd, the stuff that we're dealing with now, where Thanksgiving has record travel during the height of the current height, because it's only going to get worse. If we keep doing nothing, the pandemic's only going to get worse, right? So the height as of this moment in time, average of 5 to 10 million cases per week. And we have record travel. And then Black Friday is going to happen. And people are and then Black Friday, we know that it has a death toll just in people getting trampled and killed in Black Friday. But we can extrapolate the disease death toll, right? And it's this can't be real. The part I'm just being honest with you. Sometimes reading the news every day, it literally convinces me for periods of time that this stuff isn't real. It's too fucking stupid to be real. There is no way, this is a fever dream. It's March of 2020 or something, and I'm just having a really long dream. I can't grasp just how fucking conformist and how fucking just ridiculously nearsighted everyone is. I really can't. I really can't. And so, like, when it comes to doing a politics show, I'm going to be honest, like, this is hard to do. Like, you know, and I could be talking about, like, how and, you know, and that's not to say I don't read things, but it's like, what am I supposed to do? Oh, Mike Johnson is signaling to the Supreme Court to overturn like fucking sodomy laws. What's sodomy? Blowjobs. You can't have a legal blowjob in the United States, according to Mike Johnson. Mike Johnson, by the way, Speaker of the House, if you don't know, had a deal with his son, who I can only hope is an adult. I didn't look into the deal that much. Where they would show each other what porn they watch in order to keep each other in check. So, I mean, that's fun. But, like, what does talking about that do? What is, like, I don't know. I just, like, really, what does that do? Like, does that help anybody? Is there, like, comedy value in talking about how dumb everyone is? And that's the thing, like, I can see how fucking stupid everyone is, and I can see how enjoyable it is to laugh at the dummies. But it's like, I can't do that every day. I can't even do that every week. Because at a point, it gets frustrating. Like, and, you know, I can't leave my house because of you people. You know, like, that's how I feel. Like, I can't leave my house without a mask on because I live in a fucking world where people don't believe in germs. I'm not catching a cold. I'm not catching the flu. I'm not catching RSV. I'm not catching tuberculosis. And I'm certainly not catching COVID for your bitch ass, right? And, like, this affects me on a daily basis. Just seeing dumbasses, like, going to the grocery store. Like, I would love to go to the grocery store. I really would. But I refuse to do it. I refuse to go to the grocery store during a pandemic. Why? Because people are fucking stupid. And I have the privilege and the extra money to be able to get groceries delivered. Like, to me, the idea of paying like $20, $25 extra to not to outsource getting COVID to someone who's already taken up that career choice. Like, yes, I'm going to get COVID for money. All right, here's my money. Have fun with that. You know, like, to me, that's fine. That's like a worthy, you know, tax. That's a tax, really. My fucking camera fell. Just like Obergefell is gonna fall. You see what I mean? That's politics, baby. But it's like, the fact that I have to pay a tax because I don't want to get sick and die in a fucking country. Like, where's the government? You know, like, and then that extends to, like, what is the food that we're eating? It's all poison. You have to spend extra money to not eat poison. So you have to pay a tax in order to not slowly kill yourself with corn syrup. You have to pay a tax to get, like, water filtration because the tap water in this country is poisoned by default. There's lead in my tap water. There's chloroform in my tap water. There's fucking all kinds of chemicals in my tap. I can't drink the tap water. Well, I mean, I can if I want to fucking kill myself. Yeah, if I want to have a heaping helping of lead in the morning, I'll drink the fucking tap water. So I have to pay a tax just for water. And it's like, that shit pisses me off. I mean, like, that really fucking enrages me that we live in such a stupid fucking world and people don't protest for clean water. Like, where are the protests in the streets for clean water nationwide? Why do we all just deal with drinking lead? Because most people are fucking dumb and they don't even know what's in their water because of years and years of propaganda. And it's like, what am I going to do about that? I don't know. I don't know, man. And, you know, I say all of this knowing in the future, I'm probably going to get back to doing a daily show again. I'm probably going to get back to doing Let's React to Ben Shapiro kind of stupid shit at some point. You know, why not? You know, everyone else is doing it. At some point, I'll yearn for that nostalgia, and I'll be back to it. I guarantee you at some point. You know, write it on your calendar. I don't know where on your calendar. Just, like, write it on the calendar. You know, just, like, on the front cover or whatever. What am I saying? But yeah, as of right now, as of, like, my current mental state, I gotta be honest with you, just reading the news, like, hurts my brain. It really does. And now, like, my webcam is doing that, well, like, that's how I feel, like, mentally. when it's dealing with with these fucking motherfuckers. And it's like, it's a daily thing for me. I literally cannot escape this world. I am a slave on this planet that we call Earth, that's operated by fucking Neanderthals, apparently. And, that fucks with me. So, and I know, like, people in my audience, I know people feel the same way. And that's the thing. I know I have it lucky. I am lucky in the instance where I don't live with fucking crazy fuckers that don't believe in germs. Like, and then that keeps me up at night, though. Like, when I read comments and people are going like, yeah, my parents don't believe in germs and they gave me COVID 15 times or whatever. And it's like, got a little Max dog appearance there, sniffing me. That keeps me up at night. Like, what I'm experiencing, I'm the lucky one in this instance. Now, that's the thing. I've never been the lucky one. Oh, what is this fucking bullshit? I've always felt like I've had the worst possible go of things, for the most part. But somehow, like, I found myself in a position where it's like, I don't live with people that don't believe in germs. That's great. That's fucking wonderful. And that is a privilege, I guess. And so, like, yeah, like, if you're living in that situation, I'll just tell you this. I don't think I could. I'm just, like, I can barely handle my situation. I don't think I could live with a Trump supporter in the year 2023. 2023, that's the year. I really don't. Because I've lived with Trump supporters before, and they're fucking insane. They're fucking crazy motherfuckers. I've lived with people that don't believe in germs before. They're fucking insane. They're crazy. And, once you leave that environment, you realize, holy shit, man, like, just the background anxiety. But then, for me anyway, that just got replaced with this is just a blog, by the way, that just got replaced with other background anxiety. Like, now I'm just anxious about, like, when is this going to end? And then I'm anxious about, well, what if it never ends? And then I'm anxious about, like, is this just my life? I get to live one time as a slave on a fucking planet operated by fucking creatures and cryptids. Like, this is my experience. This is my one human life on Earth. Like, why couldn't I have been born in, like, the 1930s or some shit? Like, Jesus Christ, man. And I know the 30s wasn't something to sniff at, but, like, at this fucking point, man, like, holy shit. At least in the 30s, I would theoretically be able to leave the house, right? Like, I would theoretically be able to go and get an ice cream at a fucking local ice cream parlor in the fucking 1950s or 60s, right? At the very least, that would be an option. And it's like, that blows my mind. I can't get over it. And yeah, like, politics, like, what is politics? Like, I view politics as an extension of how I live my life, but most people don't. Right? So, like, the politics space is just a bunch of people lying constantly. They're just lie. Like, again, the Majority Report. When it comes to Jimmy Dore, COVID disinformation. He's a terrible person. He's evil. When they say the same thing, oh, it's great. It's hip. It's cool. Like, I can't do that kind of stuff. I can't lie for money. And then, look at the more brazen motherfuckers that are like, the Daily Wire. All they do is lie for money. I can't do that shit. So I'm competing in a space where the competitive advantage is to lie for money. And I either can't do it or won't do it. I mean, I could for limited periods of time. Like, I could probably lie for money for maybe a couple months and then I'd fucking go crazy, right? Like, I just can't do it. I'm incapable of doing it, right? So then what are the other options? Oh, focus on things that aren't political. How? I already know too much. That's the thing. I already know too much about the world. It's like, it's a fucking cognito hazard to know that germs are real in the year 2023. Like, so I go to other, internet locations, and it's like people planning their Thanksgiving dinners. I gotta fly. Do you ever hear this phrase? I gotta fly. You gotta? Someone has a gun to your fucking head. If you don't fly, you're going to fucking get shotgunned to the skull. You have to fly to go see her during a pandemic. And I can't participate in that kind of discourse. So, that just drives me insane. You know, all I do is, at this point, all I do is like, I'm a recluse, you know, I'm like Howard Hughes, you know, like I just like sit in my fucking bedroom and watch movies and play video games and make video games. That's just what I do at this point, you know? And it's like, yeah, maybe I want to integrate that more into this, but I feel like this is a political show. I don't want to like turn a political show per se into like just a blog about like, what movies I'm watching, but you know, maybe I should do more of that, and that's something I think about, and maybe I will in the future. But hey, whatever. I haven't made that decision yet. Right now, I'm just coasting. I'm just coasting. I'm just trying to live my life, with the minimum possible effort into everything. That's what I'm doing. I'm trying to figure out what's going on here. You know, what do I want to expend my resources on? Because it's certainly not doing Let's React to Steven Crowder number 5543. That's certainly not what I want to spend my time and energy on, because at least as of this moment in time. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just blogging here, you know. People tell me that these blogs about the state of the world are cathartic, so that's why I'm doing this. That's like, you know, that, and plus I also just, I love hearing myself talk. So that's like another benefit. That's another benefit. But it's like winter time. I had some chapped lip thing going on a couple days ago. Does anyone have that? Like winter just comes out of nowhere and you just, you know, you weren't expecting it. And then boom, all of a sudden, you know, it hurts to fucking talk. So that was what I was dealing with. It's still, you know, still got a little bit of a chap. I don't know if you can see it. You know, on the bottom part of that little, like, what's the deal with that fucking shit? Really? We haven't solved chapped lips? People say, oh, you put lip balm on that shit? The lip balm like falls off within like an hour, you know? And it's like, then what do I have to do? I have to expend money. I have to pay the tax to heat my home so that my lips don't fucking chap or whatever. And then what happens then? Well, then, you know, close all the windows, you heat the home, guess what fucking happens? Then it gets fucking stuffy in here. You ever, you know, like, it's like, you know, you need to open a fucking window. You get a rush of fucking freezing air, chaps your lips again, you're right back into fucking ground zero or whatever. You know, like, oh man, you know, fuck. Don't even get me started on that fucking shit. This is what I'm dealing with this holiday season. This Thanksgiving. This is what I'm thankful for. And, you know, you can call me a fucking curmudgeon if you want. You can call me a little piece of shit, know-it-all, cocksucker if you want. I mean, those are all applicable terms. I accept that. I accept that I am crazy. I accept that my views are out there. I accept that. But you know what? Whatever. Because ultimately, you know, I started this YouTube channel when I was 14. I know, Jesus fucking Christ. And it started as just like, you know, I just wanted to talk about what I liked, and with the possibility that other people would be interested. And that's pretty much still my mission as a 27-year-old. That's pretty much still what I'm doing here. My interests cycle in what I'm passionate about or whatever, and you know, and that's still what I'm doing here. So like I will be doing this regardless of if there's an audience. And I know some people, I get a lot of messages, I miss the daily live shows and I miss the ritual, and it's like, you know, part of me also misses that, but it's like, you know, I was just not happy for like the last like 4 or 5 months of that whole operation. And I'm happy with this. Honestly, doing the once a week without interacting with the chat, honestly, you know, and you may say that whatever, but this is sustainable to me. I like doing this. It might sound like I don't like doing this. I might sound like, you know, oh man, this fucking bitch, what the fuck? But I actually like doing this. You know, like sometimes I go back and watch my older programs and it's like, yeah, that was cool. You know, it's like a little time capsule. I take a picture, a motion picture of myself once per week. You know, I don't know. That's interesting. I like it. I'm into it, right? And I know a lot of people, they say that the catharsis that I grant myself is also helpful to them. And, I appreciate that. I really do. And I would like to know more about that situation. I really would, If these kind of programs make you happy to some degree, that would be great to know. I would love to have that information. But yeah, I mean, like, what the fuck, man? Like, what is in the news here that's even worth talking about? Biden is old. Oh, fucking no shit, he's old. Fucking Ohio voted to legalize weed. That was like last week. I don't know. How cool is that? All right. I mean, Jesus Christ, it's 2023, so that's cool. But, the news is just depressing. Man. Fucking man, just noticed on this New York Times thing, look at this. Dealing with family drama. How to avoid family drama this holiday season. Like, is this content? Is this content? Did I just stumble upon content on accident? I had this screen open for like 45 minutes and now I stumbled on content. For some families, tension around the holidays is quiet. All clenched teeth and subtle jabs. For others, it's big, loud, and boozy. Like, this is the thing. Like, why do people even attend these? Like, that's the thing. Like, oh, you have that one cousin you like talking to? And, like, how about you plan another fucking meeting? Like, how about, you give that fucker a text and say, hey, you just want to fucking fly to my house or some shit? Or you just want to, like, come to my house or whatever, and we'll just play video games and like fucking drink White Claw or some shit and fuck the whole family thing. Like, that's like why would you want to deal with this? Like, that's the thing. Like, why are like so many people deal with this that there's like fucking guides written on it? Like, motherfucker, like, what? How about you just don't involve yourself in that fucking situation? How about that? Is that allowed? Are we allowed to have this conversation? Like, how about you just don't go? Like, is that a... But, some people, they live with motherfuckers that are hosting a party. I, like, imagine hosting a party during a pandemic. I really can't. Like, people are so fucking stupid, but... whatever your kid's particular brand of friction, having a game plan to avoid conflict or shut it down is a good idea. Like, does this ever work? Like, imagine you're in a fucking family situation, Uncle Motherfuck starts screaming, and then, like, you get up, put your arms on the table. I read the New York Times step-by-step guide on how to avoid family drama, and I'm going to shut it down. Then what is Uncle Motherfucker going to do? He's going to laugh in your face, and then everything's going to get way worse. Like, I mean, like, what the fuck? A guide? Like, the guide is don't go. That's the guide. You know what? You can just use inspect element, and just remove all this text, and it's just like, for some families, blah, blah, blah. Whatever your kid's particular brand of friction, having a game plan to avoid conflict is a good idea. Don't go. End. Fin. Goodbye. That's the end of the article. But, like, what else do they got here? Is this content? Like, should I just do more videos like this? I don't know. Someone tell me. But, like, find a connection. My brother and I have very different political views. What the fuck does that mean? We have a couple of fights at Christmas time. That's one word? Jesus fuck. That sounds like a fucking goddamn disease. Yeah, I got Christmas team, right? Like, oh, man, I got real bad. That upset my mother to the point of tears. So last Christmas, we brought our guitars to the family gathering. What the fuck? Jesus Christ. Like, I'm sorry, man. Like, you have like this is the thing. I just don't understand why I would want to be around people that believe that the genocide of Gazans is okay, that don't believe in germs, that believe that, like, queer people deserve to, like, go to jail or something. Why would I want to spend money to go be around those motherfuckers? I don't know. You tell me, because apparently that's a thing that people are doing. When spending time with family over holidays, I bring a few mementos. What the fuck? My business cards, photos, and with friends, and my house keys, all to remind them I have a fulfilling life elsewhere. What the fuck? I usually keep them where I sleep, a private... These are my anti-regression tools. I am old and my mother is very old, but the family dynamic, no matter the age of participants, is usually the same forever. Now, this is true. Right? This is true. That part I agree with. You get in a room with someone you haven't seen in 30 years and it's just like it's 1993 all over again, right? But it's like, this motherfucker sleeps with their keys? Like, I'm sorry, man. What? What the fuck? When in doubt, talk sports. Jesus fucking goddamn Christ. We avoid the following at dinner: the Middle East, Donald Trump, Fidel Castro. We live in Miami. Oh ho ho ho. Joe Biden's age, grandma's will, what any college age child is studying in school. Why the fuck? Like, okay, congratulations. You have a boring family and you talk about boring shit like sports. Yeah, congratulations. You're another cookie cutter fucking sheep, and all you have to talk about is what the corporate propaganda tells you. Yes, the sports. Yes, watch the sports. Watch the advertisements. Buy the hot dogs. Yes. Like, that's all you can talk about? Really? I don't know, whatever. Some people like fucking sports. Help and hide. What the fuck does that mean? I have my version of the serenity prayer. God, give me serenity to accept the things I cannot change. What the fuck? My mom was an elementary school teacher, for 25 years, and she told me to always find the kids, to go find the kids. If I was ever overwhelmed or uncomfortable at any party, the kids know how to have fun. I mean, that's true. I can agree with that. That's actually not too bad. Now, I don't know what the fuck this one is. Like, you believe that there's a God and he's going to grant you serenity? Like, if God was going to grant you serenity, why wouldn't God just make your family not a bunch of goddamn fucked up freaks, you know? Like now is the time where God's going to grant you serenity. This is why I can't. Like, this is another thing. I just can't with the God people. Like, what the fuck? Like, you ever see the cartoons where they're like, say grace? Say grace? Say grace. What the fuck is grace? You ever get put in that situation where like someone grabs your hand like aggressively and you just don't expect it, and then like they're like, say grace? What? Like, say grace is like where I debut my stand-up comedy bits, you know what I mean? At least historically. I wouldn't do that ever again. Connect with others who are struggling. You don't need to go to Thanksgiving for that. I'm not even going to bother reading it. Celebrate on your own terms. Okay, here we go. After divorce, the holidays became stressful for my kids because they didn't want to hurt either parents' feelings. I wanted to make it so that they didn't feel conflicted, so I created a holiday just for us with competition. Yo, I mean, this is the shit right here. You make your own fucking tradition. There you go. There we go. We got one out of however many that's not terrible. As a gay couple, we are able to capitalize on the exception we might celebrate differently. So after a few years of unjoyfully navigating holiday drama, my husband, Daniel, shout outs to Daniel, I guess, and I now pack our bags and travel to Mexico each Thanksgiving and spend time in the sun, relax, and celebrate. There you go. I mean, that's my thing, all right? Create your own tradition. But like, okay, so now we've learned how to deal with family drama. Dinner playlist. Dinner playlist? I guess for music? Oh, you gotta have the cranberries. I get it. Because it's Thanksgiving. Oh! Yo, oh my God. Dear listeners, Thanksgiving is nearly upon us, so today's playlist is all about gratitude, family, and food. The high woman crowded table. This is just some bitch telling you what her favorite songs are. This isn't a guide. That's not a guide. That's just some bitch this is like, hey, I'm Lindsay Zolads or whatever stupid fucking name. Here's like top 10 favorite songs. That's not a fucking, how's that helping me? TV episodes. Yeah, let's all watch TV during Thanksgiving. Wow, man. This is depressing. Like, do people actually, I'm just like, who's reading this shit? This is the New York Times, right? Like, someone's got to be reading this shit, right? Right? Like, someone's got to be, opening up their newspaper. Ah, yes. The New York Times TV episode special suggestion for how to survive. What? Who is reading this? This is another reason I can't stand living on this planet with this, with this society that we have. Is who's reading this? What is this? Just a list of every show that's had a Thanksgiving episode? What the fuck kind of... What? Why is this in the New York Times? I don't understand. Movies for kids. Okay. Miracle on 34th Street from 1947. Yeah, I'm sure an average 9-year-old is going to want to watch a 1947 film. This is just like a movie recommendation. Like, oh, here's a bunch of Thanksgiving movies. Cleanup tips. Here we go. Like, what is going on here? I'm just curious. Like, and this is, for anyone wondering, this is where the image cuts off, right? Like, so I'm not cutting anything else off here. Right? Like, it cuts off here. Like, why is she, like, bent over like that? Like, what's happening? Why is she, like, bent over? Is she, like, cleaning up the floor? But there's, like, no mop. There's no, like, rag. Who drew this? Why would anyone draw that? Dishwashing, the B-side to Thanksgiving cooking. Now, again, like, what is this, like, thing? Like, I bet you wash the dishes as you go. Or, like, I don't know, like, do you really need a guide to clean up? Like, you just clean up. What's the guide? Like, what? All right, let's keep going. Examine and set expectations for yourself. Okay. Communicate early and often with guests. We need to be done with the era of women cooking and cleaning while men watch football. Great. Yeah, you know what? I'm just going to be honest. I am not the target audience for that. So there's your content. There you go. I stumbled upon something there. And it's all irrelevant because by the time you're watching this, Thanksgiving already happened. But hey, whatever. I just to me, this is just a time of the year where I reflect on just how fucking ridiculous our world is. I really just can't. I can't wrap my mind around this time period that we're living in. I really can't. There's no real precedent, really. I mean, the most precedents we've had for this moment is the Spanish flu, the Kansas flu, if you will. Where it was year 2 of the Spanish flu, 1919 pandemic, is they just gave up. And I remember reading the story of the Philadelphia parade. They were celebrating victory from the flu pandemic, and they just pretended it disappeared. And that's why 40,000 people die every year from the flu. Because 100 years ago, they just gave up. Except with COVID, it's not 40,000, it's 300,000 to 400,000 per year dying of COVID that we know of. Because we're just now realizing, oh, all those heart attacks we've been seeing, oh, that's actually COVID that's killing people. You know? Oh, all those blood clots that we've been seeing, oh, that's COVID. So now in retrospect, we can find out, oh, the cardiac arrest uptick is because of COVID, actually. It's not some other, there's a lot of factors like sedentary lifestyle, food, diet, all that kind of stuff. But that kind of stuff was here before COVID, right? So if there's a sudden spike at the same time COVID is introduced to the general population, right? And it's is this just going to be what the next generation is going to deal with? 300,000, 400,000 people dying every year just because people in a couple year time span just, germs. What if germs aren't real, actually? Hot take. What if germs are not real? And then 20 years from now, people are just going to be yeah, COVID killing 1 million people a year, that's totally normal. What do you want to do something about it? Oh, you want to make it so that 1 million people don't die every year for no reason? What are you, a hippie? And I'm scared for 2024, 2025, because I know the pandemic's only going to get worse. Every marker points to it getting worse. But once we live a couple years where the whole of society's in la la land, and next year Joe Biden is going to campaign on I solved the COVID crisis. That's going to happen. Joe Biden in fucking July, August, September of 2024 is going to start releasing those commercials. Fuck, he might even start doing it earlier, saying competence and blah, experience matters. We solved the COVID crisis, even though it's worse now than when he was inaugurated. So I just, as a 27-year-old, I am not ready to be firmly and fully dejected out of society. I'm not ready. Now, to be honest with you, part of me is ready. Like, I am ready, but it's like, just on the principle, man, like, really, I don't get to live a fruitful and enjoyable, decade in my 20s because of other people making it so that the world is uninhabitable. That's fucking crazy, man. I'm pissed off. And I don't think I'm going to get any less pissed off at that. And then, like, I'm thinking about, what about people 10 years younger than me that were forced to go to school during the COVID pandemic? And, like, which, for all we know, by the time that 17-year-olds are 27 now, COVID, the pandemic's still going to be happening. But, like, like, for all we know, it's just going to be, yep, we're on year 15. Give it up for year 15. Like, it's that SpongeBob clip. Give it up for year 16, But, like, let's just assume, right? Good ending, theoretically. Like, I couldn't imagine that. Like, oh, yeah, my parents just, like, knocked 15 years off of my lifespan. And also, if I didn't go to school, gangsters would show up to my house and point guns at me and force me to go to school, and or steal me from my parents because I'm property. This was like stuff that was, I've said this before. I was chronically ill. I was disabled as a kid. And my school would just ignore doctor's notes. They got to a point where it's like, oh, you're not really sick. Now, again, it would be one thing if my grades were suffering, but, like, I just read the textbooks at home. I filled out all the tests properly. I passed everything. I remember, one class I failed with over 100 points just because of attendance, right? So, I say this is a badge of honor. That's why I dropped out of high school. But, like, yeah, I remember one time I had gangsters with guns show up to my door. They broke inside of my home, actually. They, like, kicked my door in. And I was sick. And, where's your mother? Why aren't you at school? And I was like, I fucking submitted a fucking doctor's note. Like, why did you force yourself into my house? And it's like, we didn't do anything. Like, what is there legally to do for, like, a fucking single mother and, like, a sick kid? Nothing, right? There's no recourse when you're a fucking poor person. There's no fucking recourse, right? So it's like, what are your options, really? So in a COVID pandemic, your options are go to fucking school, get infected with the mandatory medical experiment that shortens your lifespan by 10 years, or don't go to school and have fuckers break into your house and threaten to steal you from your parents. And then what's going to happen is you're going to get sent to, like, a foster system, and they're going to force you to go to school anyway, like a gunpoint. Or drop out of school and then have everyone tell you, oh, you can't work here because you're too dumb, even though you're smarter than everyone that has a diploma. Great system we've got going on. So I just think, like, like, goddamn, I am so happy I was not born, like, a couple years later. Fuck me. Oh, man, I really fucking dodged a bullet. And I had a really rough kind of go at it, too. But it's like, yeah, holy shit. The idea of having to go to school during a pandemic, that's insane. And people are still doing it. They're sending their kids to school during a pandemic. And they would say in the same breath, I would do anything for my children. I love my children more than anything. Except apparently you love free daycare more than your children because you're sending your kids to school during a pandemic. But hey, I know I can't be too mean because poor people, they don't have the money to do other things. Oh, then maybe you shouldn't have had kids in the first place. Well, I can also say, well, if you had kids like in 2015, you probably didn't know that there would be a pandemic. So maybe that's not really your fault. But it's just the whole thing. I'm just thinking about, wow. Wowzers. That keeps me up at night too, just thinking about what the kids are experiencing. But anyway, I hope your Thanksgiving was happy. I hope you sat at home and you had your fucking little birthday cake with your one candle in the darkness with your stupid fucking hat on. You go and you blow it and you fucking turn the fucking TV on and cry yourself to sleep, because that's what I'm going to do for Thanksgiving. And if you're not doing that, if you decided, you know what, I don't need to live until I see my kids graduate high school. I don't mind dying in my 40s. That's fine with me. I really hope you have a great one. And I really hope it's worth it. I really do. I mean, like, good for you. Good for you. You're living your life, brother. You're living your life. Have fun with that. But, like, to me, this whole experiment, this whole people are zombies. They're just programs. My mother and my father had Thanksgiving, so I must go to Thanksgiving. I must fly to Thanksgiving during a global pandemic. Yes, I am a free thinker. I am a free thinker. Time to go Christmas shopping on Black Friday. I am a free thinker. Like, if that's what you want to do with your life, okay, sure, have fun with that, man. But Jesus Louises, that's my show. I hate to be depressing every week, but you know what? Someone's got to be depressing, and I'm depressed, so if I'm depressed, what am I supposed to do? Just pretend not to be depressed? Fuck no. We're going to go deep in the mud here. We're going to go all in on the existential depression that is my current outlook on the rest of the world. So if you don't like it, I don't know what else to tell you. Now, again, I know I repeat myself on that one, and some people are getting a little tired. Oh, why did you keep telling our audience to fuck off? Well, every time I do one of these shows, I lose like 10 subscribers, and that's good. Once I hit that like part where people stop unsubscribing frequently, then I'll stop talking about it. Really, I will. But I want to keep losing as many subscribers as I can because the number doesn't matter to me. I don't need people showing up and saying blah, 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 blah. I don't need that shit. And if you want to keep doing it, despite, whatever, like, feel free. But it's like, yeah. That's all I got for you. I don't know. I wish I had something else. But hey, this whole show was one take. It's like the movies. You ever see those movies? This whole movie was shot with one take. That's this show. I did the whole thing in one take. No breaks. Holy fuck. I mean, like, I should get an achievement or something, right? And, it's not like when I was doing those daily shows, right? Where, like, I would constantly look at the chat and outsource what to talk about to other people. No, this is all coming from my brain. We got an hour, no fucking edits, no bullshit. We got to start. We got an intro and an outro. I got to keep those in, but that doesn't count. So just shout outs to me. Everyone, take your hats off and give me a standing ovation. One take this week. Holy shit. Holy poop. Am I allowed to say poop? To me, like, poop is a worse word than shit, because it's just like it's hard to say. Like shit, it feels good. It feels good to say. I should stipulate, but poop is just awkward because it's got that double P, and especially with I don't have a pop filter on my microphone, so I'm sure poop sounds extra bizarre. But anyway, why am I talking about poop? I'm not sure. You can rewind. I'm not going to, because this is all one take, motherfucker. But anyway, there's your Thanksgiving episode or Black Friday episode. If you're planning, after watching this, to go contract a life-altering, debilitating disease so that you can get an Xbox for $30 off, be my guest. Hope it's worth it. But also, there's such a thing called delivery. I don't know. Maybe you should look into it. But anyway, that's all I got. I hope y'all have been enjoying the Left Past 10 shows. This is the depression hour. Above it all is the depression hour. Left Past 10 is like the non-depression hour, though eventually, don't worry, I'm going to turn it into depression hour if I'm allowed to. If I have my say, I'm going to turn that one into depression hour too. But hopefully y'all have been enjoying that one. So you got the two sides of the same coin here. And you flip the coin, and then you fucking cut the film before the coin lands. It's like fucking Inception, but with a coin. Yeah.